other on so that we can arrive at solutions a lot faster.
Well, I think...
So, I mean, we don't agree on a lot of things, obviously, but we do on others, so why not?
Sure. Okay, well, then just so my audience can really... Because that was my idea today. I wanted to get you on and not just yell at you or disagree. I wanted to say, were you serious about this quote, or what's your true view? I mean, the real Roseanne Barr. But before we do that, because we're going to come to break and come back, and some stations join us then, what are some of the things you disagree with me on? Because I'm curious.
I don't know. Why don't you ask me some questions?
Okay, the Second Amendment.
Better.
The Second Amendment.
Well, we probably agree there. I agree on all of the things that already exist, and I think that the only thing we don't agree on are economics. Isn't that true?
Sure. I mean, if you believe in the right to keep and bear arms and defend yourself.
I have guns. Hell yeah, I have guns, rifles. Hell yes, I do believe. Absolutely believe that.
Okay, well, when a woman starts saying hell yes about guns, I'm starting to find you really attractive right now.
I'm a hell of a shot, I'll tell you that. I've always had a gun. I've always had a rifle because I'm a farmer. Besides, I've always been attracted and love farming since I got enough money to afford a farm, which was when I did the Roseanne show. I've always had
Roseanne, we got to go to break. Long segment coming up. Wow, this is dynamite. Roseanne Barr is on with us, and I learned she's a listener. And Jaron, by the way, is a big fan out there. He's out there bowing down right now, saying he's not worthy. We'll be right back after this quick break with Roseanne Barr. I'm Alex Jones with Infowars.com. Stay with us. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow, step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com. A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Well, not one to shrink away from controversy, Roseanne Barr, who needs no introduction, on Max Kaiser's TV show over the weekend, said, hey, re-education camps for the bankers, if they won't, pay more money in taxes, if they make over $100 million a year, or off with their heads. And so when we found out she was a listener, and we were excited to get her on, and I was talking to her during the break. She says she even posts our videos and things on her own blog when she agrees with us. So we're going to explore all of that today and find out, is she serious about the things she said, and let her basically elaborate on it. So, Roseanne, one of the biggest stories in the country was your statements. Would you like to expand on those or clarify them?
Well, it's I gave a speech on Mother's Day last year in front of the White House where I, announced my candidacy for President of the United States of America as well as Prime Minister of Israel. It's a twofer. And it was based on declaring patriarchal politics obsolete, and I called for the dawn of divine matriarchy to descend to the planet. So that's kind of the context in which I spoke all of those things. But, it's like I said last segment, Alex, I'm for a completely new way of looking at things that is congruent with a whole new century. So I just want to leave everything behind that doesn't work, which is basically everything, and start something new that actually does work and actually has, a time limit to when problems can be solved. Like, so I said that within the first year of my presidency that I would legalize marijuana and end all wars, make war illegal, forgive all American debt and student loans. And, I made some big statements, but if I am elected president of these United States, I will guarantee those things within the first 100 days of my presidency.
What about your statements specifically? I mean, we could play them again, but elaborate on re-education camps, chopping off.
Well, I was talking about the people, the taxpayers of this country as well, as the citizens of this country, have a right to seek justice for what's been done to them. And people everywhere in every government, all citizenry, demand justice and a system of just laws that they can actually exist under. Am I right?
Yes.
So I was saying that, when an entire country has been fleeced and robbed, there needs to be a different there needs to be a different kind of justice that doesn't allow for that and that actually punishes the guilty. So my statement was, to explore what is the definition of guilty, and it means being tried in a court not heavily weighted in your favor as now. Like, none of these bankers are being arrested, and if like beside Martha Stewart, who's the only person who's ever been arrested for any kind of like insider trading, but once they're arrested, they would actually be tried in a court of law that they have not bought and paid for. So that's kind of what I'm, pointing out the way things actually work in our country. So, I'm trying to speak about a new definition of guilty, and it's like the worst of the worst of the worst of the guilty, need to pay a price for what they've done.
And specifically, were you serious about people that make a cap of $100 million a year? And
no, total wealth, $100 million. There's absolutely, in my opinion, there's absolutely no reason for anybody to be a bigger pig than to own $100 million. It's just a pig culture that allows people to starve in the streets and other people to have $100 million. I believe in normalization of economics, absolutely.
What about people like Michael Moore, who I've read is worth around $200 million, constantly lecturing people that capitalism itself is bad? I mean, what do you think of Michael Moore, and his statement that capitalism is the problem?
Well, he's a very dear friend of mine, and, in many ways I agree with a lot of what he says. like you, Alex, and in a lot of other ways, I don't agree with many of the things that he says because I'm not, I'm not just about dogma. I'm for human beings being able to speak to each other, particularly when they don't agree and come to a solution somewhere in the middle. But yes, I would take his wealth if it's over $100 million. Although I would be more forgiving towards Michael because I know how many people and how many organizations he does support. So, I would make some allowances. I mean, it isn't just, I wouldn't be, like Stalin or anything.
Well, there's always people that
I
make...
wouldn't take all of Oprah's either because she does good things. Like, if people were doing good things with over 100 million besides sitting in little cubicles and figuring out how to move numbers so that they can steal more money, I would be more forgiving towards them.
My issue is Michael Moore is calling for a middle-class tax increase. Then that money is stolen and paid to bankers and banker bailouts. So when I talk to the classical mainline left out there, I try to explain to them that big socialist systems actually get financed by the offshore banks because they can then take control of the government and steal that wealth.
I absolutely agree with you on that, and like I say, and people should know, I consider myself left of some and not left of others. So I'm more of a person in the middle. Whatever works.
Now, what was this point about re-education camps?
That's for bankers. That's for the guilty, because I wouldn't want to immediately behead the guilty who've stolen like the entire wealth of communities and created poverty and terror within every community on earth that they've gone to, and devalued the currency and then brought about food shortages shortly after. Because I'm a compassionate human, I would allow them to actually go and be re-educated. It wouldn't be straight to the guillotine. It would be to the guillotine when they are found guilty and do nothing about it and try to continue. Then they would be beheaded. So I think that I have it laid out to be as fair as anybody's ever been.
All right, so you're definitely not an anti-death penalty person.
No, I love the death penalty, and I just wish that we would use it against the guilty rather than the innocent. It seems like we rush to kill a lot of people who are, not proven, like Troy Davis. I mean, a lot of people wonder if the guy was innocent or not in a flawed system, but yet Casey Anthony walks free. So I just think that we need to rethink everything so that it makes sense and that it's one rule of law that applies to everyone, whether they're rich or a priest.
Okay, let's take your book cover for a moment. You are dressed up. I said it looks like Che Guevara with a cigar, and earlier you said, no. The cigar symbolizes...
Right. Go ahead, Alan.
No. Tell us what your book cover means.
Well, I guess that it might, my meaning there might have been lost, but it is about all despots. You'll see, there's the Mao in there with the red star and the whole... it's about all male despots that I'm kind of taking over for. Getting rid of them, bringing me on. Roseanne Barr, if you read the book, is full of solutions to, everyday problems that people face in a comical way.
I never get why, because I see this on the street with some of the anarchists. They dress with communist stars on and call for communism, but call themselves anarchists. And I always wonder why that's the most popular combination. I would think communism is pretty much the opposite. I know they say in the end game of communism, the state withers away, but that never seems to happen. But
That's true. That's true. But in Roseanne Barr, it would definitely not need to wither away because the state would not even exist.
Roseanne Barr is our guest. Roseanne,
I just think mothers and grandmothers, Alex, they know how to run neighborhoods, and that's what Roseanne Barr is about. It's about female intelligence, which is always overlooked, and none of these politicians ever listen to anything that women do. And women are problem solvers, and that's what I'm for. Putting women in positions of power where they can actually solve problems rather than exploit them to be able to get at women.
Now, would this be a dictatorship of women?
No, just a dictatorship of me. And I would be, I would call myself the titular head of the grandmother's tribunal that would, bring in excuse me, a world of solutions from top to bottom.
Now, where would the guillotines be located?
Probably in the public square, right in front of the White House, I think, is, because, I mean, that's the people's, the center of people's politics, so that's probably the best place, and that's a real nice park there.
How many heads do you think would be chopped off? Not too many. I think that once they knew that there was ultimate justice headed their way, that they would really change their tune. And, I think that people should be forced to share and forced to care. I really do. And now, wait a minute, though, because I understand this is feminine, divine goddess stuff that you're offering us.